Hey everyone, my name is Jennifer Almaguer, and I want to talk to my singles. If you're looking for someone to be with, you've got to let that go. And here's the thing, if you're called by God and you are one of His chosen, all that means is that He's been running after you, He's been chasing you, and you finally answered the call. And you're all in, you are 100% in, and you're ready to do the work. You are signing up for God's army. And if you still have this in your heart, that you're still idolizing, making it an idol to be in a relationship where you wake up and you go about your day and you see a beautiful woman and you think, could she be the one? Is she my wife? Where it's constantly in your mind. And this message also goes for women. If you're looking at men and you're wondering when is your husband going to approach you? Because women, we're not supposed to be looking. It's he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It's not she who finds a husband. She's not supposed to be finding anything. She's supposed to be a 100% all in her life purpose, loving Christ as her husband. So if you're out there wondering, could he be the one? Or maybe he's the one. And if you even have those thoughts in your head, you really have to give that to God. Because when you put anything other than God first up on a pedestal, then you have things out of order. And God is not happy with that at all. He has called us. There's an order. And the order is God and then your husband when he finds you. If you're not married and you're single, it's God and you, period. You are not to be walking around on earth hoping and waiting for a husband. You have to give that up 100% completely. And I know it's so easy to say, and I wish that I had learned this sooner. I wish that I had learned that Jesus is really truly my husband. And I'm at the point where I don't care how weird that sounds because of who he has been in my life. He has literally provided everything that I absolutely need. And when you're living in the world and you don't have God in your heart, you end up feeling like you need a lot of the stuff that you actually don't. They're the tricks of the enemy. You need that purse. You need that luxury car. You need to look a certain way in front of people. So you need these things. Less is more, ladies. It comes with a price. Like when you put money above God, and that's essentially what happens to women that don't have God in their hearts, is that they're out there looking for their husband and they want to be spoiled and they want to look good and they want to impress the other people out in the world because they have made it. The world tells us that we are successful based on the material things that we have, based on what we are wearing, based on what we are driving, where we live. Now, I do know that, as a mom, we do want the good things for our children, right? We want the safety. And so wanting to live in a good neighborhood, that makes complete sense. But if you have extra money and you're not using it for your children, but you're using it for your own appearance, I see women do this a lot where they get a little extra money and instead of, saving it, they're not they haven't fully embraced the Proverbs 31 woman, where like you're able to save your money, you're able to make wise decisions, you're able to put your family first. You're not putting your vanity first. You're not putting how you look to society first. You're not on social media posting how rich you are. A lot of these images on social media, they're so fake. Women go some women go way out of their way to post a certain lifestyle that is bought. That lifestyle is being bought with their soul. And why? Because they have bought into the enemy's lies, that you need this to be worthy, you need this to be seen as successful and important. These are social media. Okay, guys, I'm not going to be bashing social media, because if you can't beat them, join them. If you're not on Instagram, if you're not on TikTok, get on Instagram and get on TikTok and start posting about Christ. Start posting the goodness. Stop hating on social media. And I'm talking to the old me. I used to hate social media. I was like, social media is poison, it's toxic, it's creating a lot of suicide. All of these things are true. But us that are people of God, that love God, that have Christ in our hearts, we have to show up too and say, hey, there's goodness here too. And we're going to start taking over, and we're going to start posting how much God loves us. We're going to post things that bring us hope, peace, inspiration, motivation. In the Bible, it says that we have to encourage each other. We have to help each other. Where is everybody? Everybody's on social media. I know, guys, that it's toxic. It can be. And that is why we have to go in there and get in front of where people are. We are called to spread the good news. And if you don't feel comfortable talking on camera, that's not a problem. You don't have to. Anything that you post, you have to be very mindful of what you're posting. Because look at what most people are posting. Not most, but a lot of the people out there are posting, where they've been, and like it's all about them. People have really become lovers of themselves. And we're not here to judge, and we're not here to say, oh, these people are awful. We're not judging them. Judgment is for God. We're here to help each other out, to bring truth, to talk about the stuff that actually matters in the world, the things that are going to create the change that we need for our kids. Our kids are watching, and they're just following along with what they see and what they see us post. So if they see us post about, the vacation we went on, and this like handbag that I'm holding, and these super expensive shoes, and we're putting that up on a pedestal, we're putting the spotlight on the material things, and we're boasting about our own successes, we are teaching our children to be lovers of ourselves and not lovers of God. So we have to be very conscious. Why am I about to post this? What is it that I'm trying? What kind of reaction am I trying to get from people? Why do I want that like? Do I want that like for me, or do I want that like for him? If it's not for him, you should not even be posting it, because God tells us the only thing we are to boast about freely and completely is him and his love for us. It's all about him. It's not about us. Don't get caught up in the world. And how do I know this? Because I used to be caught up in the world, because we have no identity in Christ. I had no identity in whose I really was. I belonged to the world. So I was trying to get so much validation from all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong places. And it's never enough. It never fills. People don't even care about you in the world. They're just competing with you in the world. So I know I went off on a tangent here, and I honestly don't even remember what I was talking about at the beginning of this post. I feel like I was first addressing men, and then I went straight to addressing women. Oh yes, it's about stop trying to find a relationship. Stop trying, because guys, if you truly trust God, then you will run everything through him. You will filter every person to him. When you are operating in a place of lack and need, the enemy knows it, especially if you are a man of God. There are so many amazing, handsome, gorgeous, good, godly men that women are not even able to see and recognize, because some of these guys are acting from a place of lack. And when you are operating from a place of lack, you're searching to be in a relationship, the enemy knows that, and that is the perfect way to distract you and get you off course of the works that you are to do for God. What is he going to do? He's going to put in front of you a woman that has all the sexual features that you just cannot resist. And because you've been single for so long, you meet a beautiful woman. She meets all of your visual desires and wish list, that you forget about God. You forget to filter everything through God. And these women that are not of God, they will put you off course. She's gonna have the hair color that you desire, the eye color, the body, everything, because the enemy knows that that is your weakness, that is how he's going to get you off course. And what is men's weakness? Is the sight. You guys are attracted to beautiful women. God made you that way. You have to understand that it's not your fault. It's okay to look at beautiful women, but it's not okay to forget God when you see a beautiful woman. You are being tricked by the enemy if you don't take that woman to God and say, God, I met this amazing, gorgeous woman. I need to know if she was sent by you or not. And you know how you guys are going to find out? You give it time, because the mask always comes off. It always falls off. And you guys have to learn about the Jezebel spirit. She's controlling, she's manipulative, but all of those things do not come out until after she's loving, nurturing, goes to church, knows the Bible, feeds you, takes care of you, helps you with your kids if you have kids. She's the perfect person. And you guys are so quick to fall for that. You end up getting married to this type of woman, to then later realize that she's really the devil. She is not the person that you thought that she was. And you thought that you were going to have the best physical, sexual life. You're going to have the woman of your dreams, but she is actually your nightmare. And now you are stuck with the child, with this person. That is why I'm telling you guys, do not idolize getting into a relationship. Do not idolize getting married. You have to get to a place where you are okay dying single. And why is this hard? Is because the world is all about couples. All of the commercials around the holidays is about families. Around Valentine's is about being in love, and the diamond ring and the engagement ring and the couple, right? The world is not, because that's what sells. You have to understand that that's marketing and sales. And we are wired to want love. And it's not a disease to be single. It is not a bad thing. And there's just this negative misconception of being single in the world, like, oh, there must be something wrong with you, or oh, you're still single, or like oh, poor you, let's hook you up with somebody, and let's do a blind date for you, because how is it that you're like people just worry so much about you being single that they feel like they have to fix you. They have to fix your life. When if you get to a place where you are so whole and complete, and you are so utterly in love with Christ, you get to the place where you will be okay not being with anybody. Because here's the thing, when you are with someone, it's not what society tells us, like, I'm going to live happily ever after. I'm finally going to be happy. I'm finally going to have everything that I've always wanted. And you start to create these castles in the air. But the reality of being in a relationship is you are ready to sacrifice your life for someone else. You are ready to put someone else first. Their feelings, their emotions, their needs, their everything. And most of us are still very selfish, especially men. And I say that in the kindest way possible. I know this because I'm around men a lot. You guys know I was raised with nothing but brothers. So I've seen it all, I've heard it all. And it's not to pass judgment, it's just the reality of it. Most guys are very selfish. They're still not ready to, commit to one woman. It takes them a while to get to that place. It gets them a while to get to settle into that mentally and emotionally. And a lot of times, men, it doesn't matter that they can bypass like 20 wonderful, beautiful, godly women that will be loyal and faithful to them, that will serve them and submit to them. But if the guy's not ready, he's not going to treat her correctly because he's still not done being in his selfish ways. It's a process, and it's his walk with Christ. It's whenever he is ready to live in the way to have a partner for the right reasons. Women, you cannot control this. You cannot change in any way to make him ready. He just has to arrive. And if you happen to be in front of this man who finally is ready to walk with Christ and live for Christ, and you just happen to be placed in front of him, then you found yourself a good one. And this, you guys got to take all to God. Because I see a lot of women that like sell their soul, and they end up with men, not godly men. Like they get so desperate to be in a relationship that they end up just settling for that guy that says all the right things and doesn't have the correct intentions, doesn't have Christ in his heart, doesn't really truly love her or respect her. But because as a woman, if you are putting marriage up on a pedestal, being a mother up on a pedestal, having children, all of that, you are susceptible of the enemy's tricks. And you are going to meet a man more likely that is not going to commit to you, that is not going to take you serious, but he will use you. He will take everything from you, and he'll just breadcrumb you. He'll have you on a string close enough for you to stay with him, and close enough for you not to leave. Like, he doesn't want you to go find happiness somewhere else because he's too happy getting what he wants in that moment, because he knows that you're all in. So that's what happens when you get with worldly men that don't have God in their heart. They will take advantage of you. They don't care. They don't feel bad. They are that incredibly selfish. They will take and take and take so long as you are willing to give. And the mistake is that the more you give, the more you think he's going to commit. That could not be further from the truth. If you're a man and you know that what I'm saying is true, please help our sisters here. Give them the truth. Shed some light. It's a very painful truth, but the truth shall set you free. And when you lie to yourself, when you tell yourself that is not true, and like that's what happens, like people end up lying to themselves. Like when they meet someone that they are not supposed to be with, we come up with all kinds of excuses, and we think that they're eventually going to change, and we're hopeful, like, oh, maybe if I don't talk to them for a week, and they break up for a month, and they miraculously think that they were miraculously changed. And so there's this back and forth, this loop, and this toxic cycle. And you guys have to break from that and really fully go 110%, 1,000, 1,000,000% all in with God, because he will heal all of those voids in your heart. He will heal that desire for you to want to, like, where you feel like you need to be in a relationship. You feel that you absolutely need to get married to be happy. No, God did not create you for your purpose to get married. That comes from the glory of God, to glorify God. When you get in a relationship, a God, even like a good godly relationship, it's to be the image of Christ. Christ sacrificed for us. He forgave us. So you have to be ready to sacrifice a lot and to forgive a lot. So if you are still harboring unforgiveness in your heart over like friends or family or even yourself, what makes you think that you're ready to get into a relationship if you haven't even learned how to forgive people right now in your life, even friends or coworkers? If you have not learned to forgive them, you are absolutely going to destroy your spouse because you haven't learned the skill of forgiveness. You haven't learned what true love truly means. It means that it's sacrifice. It's hard, it's messy, it's difficult, but you will be rewarded. I don't want to make it sound that love is awful and marriage is awful. It's very beautiful, but you have to understand that it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the good is going to be so good that it's going to bypass all of the bad and the ugly. But you will go through bad times and you will go through ugly times. And if you haven't practiced your muscle of true compassionate love, true forgiveness, understanding that what the other person does is not to be taken personal. That person is a sinful person. We all battle, we all struggle, we all face temptations. And you have to understand that that person that is facing that temptation is battling and needs your prayer and needs your support. If you're not ready for that, then why are you putting marriage up on a pedestal? Why are you putting up a relationship up on a pedestal? Are you sure you're ready for that? You got to be ready for war. And but I promise it comes with beauty. It really does. I know a lot of really great couples that have made it far, and it takes a lot of forgiveness, and it'll make you stronger, and it'll make your relationship so beautiful and inspiring. And it's not easy, guys. That's what society like presents. That's what movies present. And that's what drives me crazy. It's like, why are we taught to fail? We are set up to fail. This world is the liar's world. He has it all set up to deceive us of the truth. The truth is marriage is hard, it's messy, and it requires a lot of forgiveness and to glorify God. How much did God love us? He loves us so much. Even after we're bad and ugly and yuck, He still loves us. Are you ready to love, truly love, someone that is going to be yuck sometimes, that's going to make mistakes sometimes? Now, there's a fine line between being with someone who you're going to have to forgive a lot versus someone that is going to abuse you, harm you. Your life is in danger. I'm not saying to get with these people. There are boundaries to be set. I don't want that to get mixed up in there, right? Like, I don't want you to be in an abusive relationship where you're getting beat up, verbally abused, spiritually manipulated, where you think, well, I have to love him, I have to forgive him, I have to sacrifice for him. No, if your life is in danger, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about good, positive, godly relationships that go through their hard times. Those worldly relationships will literally bring death upon you. You don't want that. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying to tolerate that at all. God doesn't want you to live in a house where you are being abused. Absolutely not. I hope this message has been taken well, and I hope that you have peace in your heart, and I hope that you have accepted Christ in your heart. He really truly is the Prince of Peace. If you haven't lived a life of peace, you really haven't lived at all. There's really this supernatural peace that exists out here in the world. As I've said before, you take nothing. You take no thing with you. This is a spiritual life. We're just in these human bodies. We take nothing with us. So what you have to focus on is, what did you actually do with your life? How did you make other people feel? What did you contribute in this life to other people? Did you love other people? Truly love other people? Did you help other people? Did you forgive other people? Because God doesn't want us to be all about God. I love you, God, you're amazing, and I'm going to sacrifice this for you, and I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to talk about you, I'm going to preach about you, and I'm going to sing about you, but I hate my brother. He's like, I don't forgive my brother. God's not going to be happy with you. He would rather say, hey, I get that you love me. I get that you want to sacrifice for me. I see you're all in for me. But if you really truly want to be all in with me, for me, follow my commandments. Love your brother. Go forgive your brother and sister. And then I'll be able to see you and accept everything that you want to offer to me. But my commandment is love. And you cannot love someone, guys, if you haven't learned how to forgive them. How do you love someone that you have resentment towards and bitterness? Those two don't fit. So if you need to forgive someone, it is the hardest thing. It is one of the hardest things to do as a human being. And it is the absolute, like, you guys have to do it. You have to do it. And here's the deception of the enemy. He makes you feel like if you forgive that person, that you're letting them get away with it, and that you're being a pushover, and that you have no dignity for yourself, and like you're allowing people to just like screw you, and you have like no backbone, and all of that is a lie. All of that is just to keep you stuck with hatred in your heart. But if you really learn to forgive and you borrow God's forgiveness, because we don't have it, right? We're just so angry and just we have rage against the injustice. But if you say, hey, God, I have zero forgiveness in my heart. I need you to show me. I need you to let me borrow your forgiveness because I have none. And you have faith and you trust God and you keep going to God, knock and keep knocking and he will answer the door. Keep asking and he will give it to you, and ask in the name of Jesus, because he says anything that you ask in the name of Jesus, it will be given to you. When your heart is with mine, I will answer you and I will give you that you need. And of course it's part of his will for you to forgive. Of course he's going to give it to you. And it's going to take a little while. You're not going to forgive from one day to the next. It's a process. And go research on forgiveness. Go listen to all the podcasts you can about forgiveness. Go listen to other people's story. And you will notice that they're all happy now. Like, oh, I learned how to forgive, and like my life is just so amazing and it's so great now. There's something to it. If you want to cross over to the other side, you've got to do the work. You've got to keep your covenant, your end of the deal with God. God said that he was never going to leave us. That was his covenant, right? When he sent Jesus, he said, I'm never going to leave you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. When was the covenant? I think it was in the Old Testament. The point that I'm trying to make is that God, the covenant, just simply means that he made us a promise that he was never going to leave us, that he was never going to forsake us, and he's always going to be there for us. And it's a two-way relationship. So it's not just about us taking from God. We can't be that selfish. We also have to do our part in the relationship with God by trusting God. Don't doubt God. God is not a liar. He speaks truth. He loves us so much. He loves us so much that we don't even fully understand how much he loves us, because we don't really fully love the way God loves us. He loves us so much that we can be really crappy to him and unfair and unjust and hateful to him, and he still loves us. That's how deep and amazing his love is. So we have to keep our end of the deal and show our deep love and devotion to God by trusting him. I hope this video served you, and if you're looking for love, love is right there ready for you. Christ loves you so much. Today, I cried so much just thinking of Christ and just telling him how much I love you. I was like, God, I love you so much. Thank you so much. And I just was crying, and I just like, he's just so amazing what he's done in my life and how beautifully he's provided for me and taken care of me and my daughters. And like, he is truly the best husband any woman could ever have. He really is the most, he comforts. He's the biggest comforter. And I could just go on and on about Christ and how amazing he is. And like, now I feel like I can die alone, a single, because I'm not alone. So I hope this video served you, and if you haven't followed my YouTube, I do invite you to do so. And I hope that you're well, and I hope this video was taken in the right way and you heard it all in the way that you needed to hear to bring you the healing that you need. Bye.